Hi, welcome to Behind the Scenes with Axiom Medical. I'm your host, Jason McElweenie. We've been doing this about 2.5 years now, and I've talked to a variety of people from all over the company in different walks of life, in different positions. If you're unfamiliar with this show, this is where we go behind the scenes here at Axiom Medical and talk to the people that make the company tick. I'm very excited today to have someone I've been trying to get on the show for quite some time. So I'm going to introduce you to Laura Zeller. Laura, how are you?
Hi, Jason. Thank you for that intro. I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm well. I'm very excited to have you here today. We've talked back and forth about doing this. So I'm glad that we finally got a moment to do this, and I'm very excited about this interview. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people and who you are and what you do?
All right. Thank you. Hey, everyone. My name is Laura Zeller, and I am a registered nurse here at Axiom and the VP of Customer Support. So I work alongside our implementation, our nurse client liaison, our customer support management teams in supporting our clients and supporting all our clients and what they do on that end.
That's great. And I know, I think we kind of started around the same time. I started October 2017, and you came to us, I think, in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing prior to that? What brought you to Axiom Medical?
Yeah, I was doing home health actually for 8 years. So I've been a registered nurse for over 13 years and started in home health. Before that, I was in the Army. I was a combat medic and a medic in the Army for 4 years. So I went to Iraq and did all that sort of stuff. But I did home health. I loved home health, but I did it really because my first daughter was due on my graduation date from nursing school. So I had all these high ideas of what I was going to do in my nursing career, but had our first child. And I thought, I don't want to be away from her for 12 hours a day. So I decided to go down the home health path where I could go out and see patients and do a lot of charting at home and things like that. So ended up loving it and doing it for 8 years before I came here to Axiom.
That's great. It's funny how life just throws a monkey wrench in your life plans, and just you have to pivot and go a different way. So I'm glad you were able to do that and be in your daughter's life, but also continue with your career. You know, some people don't get that chance, so it's very fortunate that you're able to do that. So let's talk about you. So you were in home health. You know, what is that exactly? We have a lot of nurses here at Axiom Medical. Mm-hmm. It's our primary. It's in fact our business, but it's the majority of the people that work at Axiom Medical are nurses. So what is home health, and what were the skills that you had there that you brought over to what we do?
Yeah, great question. The home health aspect of what we do is really case management focused. So as a nurse, when you're case managing a patient at home, a lot of times it's maybe after a hip replacement surgery, or they have a really bad wound and they need nursing care at home, or you're helping to manage medications to someone who can't manage them on their own, or diabetic wound care, foot care, like all of those types of things for patients who can't leave their home and get to an office, especially back then when I did it. So this was 6 years ago. I can only imagine this was before COVID. So once COVID hit, I'm sure a lot of things changed because no one could really leave. So I enjoyed that, the personal aspect of getting to know patients, and then speaking with doctors and being involved in their care and their plan and just how we were really going to get them better and fully walking, or help get their medications managed and make sure that they were safe in the home. So that was the main part of that. The other part of my history being in the military was a lot of that kind of working under stress, being in Iraq for 15 months. So that lent part of that, like history in my medical history anyway, for my career, to kind of come over to Axiom and be able to not only case manage and understand how Axiom case manages, but also be able to triage and understand, this is an emergency versus, we can definitely treat this with some over-the-counter measures and things like that. So
that's great. So when you were over in Iraq, I'm guessing you were in the medical team.
Yeah, I was a medic. Yes.
Okay, great. That must have been interesting. I'm dating myself a little here, but in 91, I think it was, me and a friend were going to go over to live in a kibbutz in Israel and kind of live there for a while and just experience that life. But the first Gulf War happened, and the Canadian consulate's like, no, don't go over there. We can't let you go over there. And so going over to a war zone like Iraq must have been very interesting. And as a medic, and we're happy that you're here with us. And I have a comment here actually from Tony English. Thank you for your service. All of us are very happy with all of the people out there that have served, and especially the ones here at Axiom Medical.
Yeah, I was in Iraq right at the beginning of the war in 2003, I believe. Yes, 2003. So dating myself as well. But right at that initial push, right after the initial push, we came in. So before, we were set up with, we came in when there was no tent set up or toilets or anything like that. So we were part of that initial push. It was a pretty crazy experience.
I imagine so. I've never served, and I've never been in a situation like that. So I imagine it was quite surreal to go there and basically set up everything for more people to come. That's wild. Again, thank you for your service, and we appreciate what you've done. I got another comment here from Laura, and Lauren Morris says, "Woohoo! Laura is so incredible. We're so happy to have her continuous support." It's true. For the people that aren't watching, Laura is a very valued person. Everyone on the company is very valued, but Laura is she's kind of behind the scenes and making things work, and she's fantastic. So got another comment from Holly. Says, "Hi, Laura and Jason. Had no idea on the home health background and snaps of having a baby in nursing school. Grateful to have you on the Axiom team, and thank you for your service." So there we go. So, walk people through what you do now at Axiom Medical. We talked about your armed forces history, your home health history. So what are you doing at Axiom now?
Yeah, I have a really unique opportunity now that I'm so grateful for, which is being able to support Axiom, support our operations team, support our account management and sales teams, really support all of Axiom and support our clients. So I have been able in the recent months been able to travel on site and meet a lot of our clients, do some site survey, looking at the sites, being able to see where our employees are working, how injuries are happening, and really getting to know in a really unique point of view of what our clients go through and how they use our services at Axiom, which then helps us develop ways on how we can make them better. How can their experience with us be better? How can we communicate better? Or what is their feedback? The cool thing about all this is that I love Axiom, obviously, or hopefully it's obvious. I love what we do, and we serve such a unique population, and we're a very niche type of company in how we case manage and the injury management that we do, and the fact that our nurses are front and center, and we have the best nurses. And I am biased, I understand, but I recently had the really good opportunity to go through our training program for our nurses, and it was incredible. Our nurse trainer is so spot on. The way we dig into OSHA and understand how it relates to our nursing knowledge and our nursing judgment, and how we can treat these cases and get these employees, calm down and understanding of the process and get them back to work ready and healthy and feeling confident to move forward, while keeping kind of balancing all of the things that play. For those of you who've used Axiom can understand where we're looking at OSHA and safety and risk and HR and workers' comp. So I kind of play a part in all of that, and I love it.
That's fantastic. And this isn't a sales pitch by any means. One of the things I love about working here is that we're all passionate about the end result, and that's making sure that people are safe and happy and able to work and able to enjoy their life outside of work. So the ability to go on site to see how one company's employees are experiencing work and where the accidents and injuries can come from is invaluable to other people and other companies. So that's great that you're able to do that. And for the people that are watching and don't know anything about us, we're an offsite, primarily telephonic, app-based injured health nurse triage type place. So we're not necessarily on site. So having the ability to go and investigate and see how things are doing for different clients is a fantastic thing. So thank you for doing that. Let's go to another comment. We've got one from Brittany. It says, Axiom Medical, so lucky to have such talent. I have no idea about you having your daughter at the end of nursing school. You're a rock star. Brittany has a new baby as well. I've interviewed her on the show, so she's she knows the baby things that go on. I don't. I've never had one yet. Who knows? Fingers crossed. I don't think I ever go through that. But so what do you do outside of work when you're not not raising kids or visiting clients? What's a extracurricular thing that you love to do?
We actually have 3 kids now. So I have a 13-year-old, 11-year-old, and then my 8-year-old will be 9 in a couple of weeks. So we're kind of in that season of life where things are changing. My kids are becoming more independent. A lot of fun. So really, it's raising kids and it's doing all the family things right now. I love sports. I play spike ball out with some friends. We play on the weekends, which is super fun. But a lot of that is kind of when you have like young kids and you come out of that stage, your whole life is diapers and just kind of keeping them alive, and they're sleeping and they're not, all of those. So we're past that stage, which I'm so thankful for, but also it's sad, it's like, oh, they're growing up, but it's all good in that way. But that's kind of where we're at, is our kids are like little adults. We have so much fun playing games and doing all that stuff. So it's really just a lot of family stuff and chauffeuring, going to Girl Scouts, going to sports, doing that stuff for the kids. So I'm in a good season of life for sure. I do work remotely from home, which I love. Axiom, when I started, we weren't remote, or I wasn't remote. And so I'm loving that aspect. I do go into the office about once a week here, that we have in the Woodlands, which I enjoy doing that as well, kind of getting out and being back at the office sometimes. But overall, I got over an hour back in my day, being a remote employee, which again, so thankful for. But I know not everyone loves remote, but I definitely do. So I'm a huge advocate for it. I think if you can get that work-life balance right, it's a pretty sweet deal for sure. I like it.
Yeah. I think coming up for the majority of us that were here prior to COVID, March will be the 4th year of working remote. And prior to working for Axiom, I was a remote worker for 5 years, so I kind of have that down. It does, you do get the nuances of conversations get lost because you can't read body language or text. Characters are just so there, so you can't tell if someone's being sarcastic or joking around. But yeah, I love remote work, and I'm happy that our company was able to pivot and realize that this is the direction we need to go. And I think a lot of companies went that way, and a lot of companies have trouble getting people back in the office. So
yeah.
You said, okay, so about your kids in sports, but you said something about spike ball. I don't know what spike ball is.
Yeah, I'm kind of famous.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
No, spike ball, it's kind of it's been around, but it's picked up. It's not as popular, I guess, as pickleball, which I'm nervous to try because I know I will love it. I like playing this kind of pickup sport. So spike ball is like a little trampoline thing on the ground, and it's almost like a volleyball, 4-square, kind of 360.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I say I'm famous, and I joke because a couple of months ago, the Spike Ball official channel on Instagram reshared one of the videos, and I did this cool, it was random, I don't know how it happened, but I like saved the ball by turning around and kicking it back over my head. And anyway, they reposted it, so it had like quite a few views, which is pretty cool.
You say it's a random move, but the rest of us say that that's just talent. I mean, go ahead, say it. You're the Michael Jordan of spike ball. You can say it.
Spike ball, but someone say I'm looking at a little too much. But
I've never played it. It looks interesting. I don't know what the rules are. I've seen it on TV, and I thought, that looks fun, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's intense. But
and you talked about your kids taking them to sports. I interviewed Seth Wood, who's on the product team here some months ago, maybe even a year ago now, I'm not sure. And we talked on a daily basis, we talk on our marketing chat about life and whatnot. And he's always taking his kids every weekend to go play some sport, whether it's baseball or soccer or something like that. What sports are your kids doing?
Actually, right now we are on a break this season, but normally they play soccer and basketball. So they love it. It's fun. Because I love sports, I love to just watch them, and it's super fun as a mom. But right now we actually are doing a lot of camping and things like that on the weekend, which we love to do. We go to Huntsville State Park and Lake Livingston quite a bit. So
that's great.
yeah.
I know soccer and basketball are, as a parent and as a a human being that has to fund their own things, they're definitely the entryway to that is a lot cheaper than, say, skiing or playing hockey or something
Yes.
like that. I skied as a kid and I played hockey as a kid, and it's not cheap. I would always have used equipment, but basketball and whatnot. So funny thing, every time my wife is from Dallas, and every time we drive up to Dallas, we pass by the Sam Houston State Park. And there's people that don't know this. There's a giant statue made by David Addicks, a local sculptor here in Houston. It's massive. It's got to be like 80 feet or something like that, 100 feet. It's a big statue of Sam Houston. And I always joke, and I call him George Washington, Texas. So if my wife is driving up to Dallas by herself or back, she will just type in GWT to let me know where she is. So and that's where Huntsville State Park is and all that kind of stuff for people that are watching. Let's go. Sarah Matthews says remote work is the best. Yes, it is. I do miss talking to people, but I don't miss like in person. But I don't miss driving 31 miles each time to do that.
Yeah.
Here, we got a comment from Augustine. Laura is great. Enjoyed getting to know her outside of Axiom and our team building event last week. Yep, there's a consensus that you're fantastic. And for the folks that watched Augustine last month, we had a glitch where we were talking for 12 minutes, but for some reason, our streaming service decided it didn't want to show it, so we had to redo it. Let's go to more comments. We've got one from Michelle. So we so appreciate Laura, especially in her new position. She's making wonderful changes and make our process more efficient and effective.
Thank you, Michelle.
So how do you interact with you interact with our product team quite a bit, don't you?
Yes.
So walk us through that, because we've got our marketing team, we have our design team, which is myself and Sarah, who just commented, Holly on the content management side with Charlie, and then we have the product team with Michelle, Seth, Vanna, and so forth. So walk us through how you guys work together.
Yeah, I actually just met with Vanna this morning. Jenna and I did. And part of what I'm doing when I'm traveling around or I'm on these meetings with clients is just kind of absorbing some of their feedback. So looking at some of our processes or how we communicate. And one of the things we discussed this morning was like our emails and our reporting and how can we make it more clear, and what can we do to improve? It's a tried and true process. Really good, but what's our next step with them? So a lot of it is interactions. It's definitely intentional interactions with the product team to ensure we're all kind of headed in the same direction, and that we're growing with our clients and understanding their needs and being able to meet them as best we can and grow where we can. So product team is essential in that. They're the ones who can take like what I say or Jenna says or any of us say from operations or operation support, and you guys make it make sense and make it pretty and get it in the right hands to make it move forward. So I really appreciate you guys for sure.
Yeah, they're an integral team, part of our team, part of the marketing team, because we as marketers, we come up with these lofty ideas and and we think this is fantastic and amazing, and then it's good to have people that can ground us and say, well, maybe it doesn't do that, or maybe it could do this. And so we love that both of our teams work together. I've got a comment for someone you may know. Jenna Mack says goat. Yeah. Yeah, greatest of all time. I interviewed Jenna a little while back. I consider it a coup that I got to interview you and Jenna. So thank you for doing that. And Holly popped in and says, is that Nike I hear calling? Like, we have an influencer for Spikeball. Influencer for Spikeball. So let's talk about, you've got the kids, you're going camping. What about, outside of that, what's the future look like? Any trips outside of camping, outside of doing things with kids? What's on the horizon?
We're kind of in like I said, kind of a nose down grinding season of life. And again, it's a good season. We're trying to appreciate every step of the way. In September, we went to Washington for a week, and that was an incredible trip. Oh man, it was just
state or DC?
State. Sorry, State, Port Angeles and the Pacific Northwest, the coast. That was an incredible trip. So nothing big like that planned right now. So a lot of family. I actually have 7 siblings, and we're all over the U.S. in Boise and Kansas City. I'm from Kansas City. It's where I was raised. So I'm a true Chiefs fan. It's in my blood. And so I'm very
dig it, Jordan Wheeler.
yeah. And so it's a lot of that. My little brother just got married a couple weeks ago, so all family was here. So coming up on the holiday season is a lot of family time for us, which I'm excited about.
That's great. Family time can be stressing, or it can be great. I'm Canadian. I'm going back to Canada for Christmas for my first time since 2016, I think.
Wow.
2017. It's been quite a while, so I'm very excited. I'm bringing my wife with me. She's never been in Canada in the winter. We just came back from Banff in the Rockies, but it was probably around 40 degrees. So nothing 40, 45 degrees, nothing too crazy, but I'm hoping for snow so I can take her tobogganing, maybe have a snowball fight, all of that stuff. Maybe you can take her on a pond if it's frozen enough. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Family can be great. For some people, family can be very stressful. So it's good that it's great for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're coming up to the end of the time. Any parting thoughts? Anyone you want to give a shout out to? Any words of wisdom for the future?
Ooh, good one. I'm thankful for this opportunity, and I'm thankful to and honored to represent Axiom in different ways. I think we have a great team. So yeah, reach out to me if anyone has any questions about what I do, or if you happen to be one of our clients watching and you need something, don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll do what we can to get you in the right direction. But I just appreciate this time, and I always tell the team, make sure you're doing, not all jobs bring you like fill up your joy bucket or like fulfill your purpose in life, and that's not always a bad thing. But if you're hating your life, if you're dragging over to your computer and you're just like, it's just this trend throughout the days, like, let's talk about it. Make sure you're finding some fulfillment in what you do. So I would just part with that. It's really good to have something you feel passionate for and you do daily that gives you purpose. And so I hope everyone has that.
Yeah, and you bring up a point that I haven't heard in quite some time. When we were back in the office, one of the things we would always say is like, maybe you don't like the role that you're in, and maybe you're actually better at this role, and that might be more fulfilling. And it's having worked for, I don't want to curse, but having worked for horrible people and horrible companies in the past, it's refreshing to have that sort of trust and value. So it's good that you're instilling that with the people that are on your team, because it really makes people feel valued, which is great. All right. Well, anything else you want to add before we drop off here?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. This has been Laura Zeller, and my name is Jason McElweenie. Thank you for joining us.